Hi, I'm Kimberly. Welcome back to the Success Series Talks for Teens. Talks designed to help you get what you want out of life. Remember to listen, take notes, and most importantly, act. I remember being in high school and really thinking that I had things figured out, a little better than most people my age. I thought for sure that I was going to go out into the world and really tear it up. Then I got out into the world and I couldn't figure out what had happened. I felt like I was getting further and further behind. It didn't make any sense to me. Well, fast forward a few more years, and I got a lot more understanding. Now, if I had received this understanding when I was in high school, I really would have been prepared to go out into the world, and I could have tore it up when I graduated. Today, I want to share with you some of the things I wish I had understood before I graduated from high school. My guess is, if your life is anything like mine was, average, then you probably don't understand a lot of these things either. Number one, I wish I'd known about and understood the cash flow quadrant. So Robert Kiyosaki has some books, and so do some other people, that talk about how we can trade time for money, or we can leverage systems, money and other people's time and money to earn our own money. The left side is where people who are trading time for money are found, as either employees or self-employed. The right side is where you find business owners and investors. Now, these are people who really make a lot of money. The difference between a business owner and a self-employed person is that the business owner has the ability to leverage on a larger scale and create large amounts of passive income. I only knew about the left side because that is all I was taught. But now I know there is a right side. And if I had known that before, I would be years ahead of where I am now. I would have started my adult life figuring out how to turn whatever I wanted to do into a system of leveraging power. If this is the first time you are hearing about this, you have to do some more research and see if the side you learned about is really where you want to be. Look into passive versus active income. Number two, I learned that college isn't the best education or the right option for everyone. The main class I took in college that I thought impacted my life was interpersonal communications. Most of the rest of them filled me full of info that really didn't matter and that didn't make me a better person. If I could do it over again, I would have done more traveling and experiencing. I would have started reading far more personal development books and spent a lot more time on them than I was on my college education. And I would have come out, again, years ahead, I believe. I would learn from those who applied and experienced, not just those who got more college education than me and so were hired by the university to teach me. Now, I'm not saying college is bad. There are some important reasons to go to college. However, if the main reason you are going to college is because you are trying to buy time before having to be a real adult, quote unquote, right, real adult, or because everyone tells you that is the path you should take, I would encourage you to again do some research and see if there are better paths to getting you where you want to be. Number three, I learned statistics and odds are stupid. Who cares if 100 people went out and failed at something? That has nothing to do with you and your ability to make it. You don't have a 3% chance of becoming a professional athlete because all the other people tried and failed. You have whatever chance you decide you're going to have based on how dedicated you are and your own skill level. What does that have to do with anyone else's dedication and skill level? It doesn't. That is why you shouldn't pay attention to statistics that judge everyone on the average, right? Maybe you aren't going to be average. If the average person failed, then make sure you are better than that and keep your eyes on your goal. Number four, you should work smarter, not harder. So working longer, harder hours doesn't actually put people ahead. Working smarter does, and you might find you actually work less hard and your value goes up. I used to think that if I could just work faster or longer, then I could get anything I wanted in this world. That lasted about a week, when I realized I did have a cap on how fast I could be and that I needed sleep. However, the things that I wanted were way beyond what I could possibly get with my job. Then I learned about working smarter. I learned about passive and residual income. Suddenly, the skies really were the limit. If I used my brain to figure out how to get what I wanted, then there would never be a cap. The same is true for you. Whatever you choose to be, figure out how to work smarter. Start by figuring out how to make the same money without working more hours. Then eventually figure out how to make way more while still working those less hours. If you're interested, there are many ways to do this. Number 5, critics are people who are just too afraid to go after their own dreams. so they settle, and then try to make you feel like an idiot for going after your own dreams because it makes them feel guilty that they gave up. Most people don't mean to hurt you. However, they will give you really bad advice sometimes, based on their own limited understanding and based off of their own fears and failures. Remember, all that has nothing to do with you. Your friends and family at times may tell you that something isn't realistic, or that you should just stay in line and be like everyone else. You will have a decision to make. You can give in and follow the same course they did and have what they have when you are the same age as them. Or you can choose to do what you really want to. Sure, they may seem disappointed at first, but years later, when you have your dreams, they won't be disappointed. And the best part is, you won't be disappointed either. Number 6, if you don't like the results you are getting, then you have to be willing to change something. If something won't get you your dreams, like the job you have, then don't sell out to it and keep doing it for the next 45 years. That makes no sense. Other opportunities will come if you want them and are willing to be open-minded. If you don't like the results, find someone who has the results you do like and then figure out what they did. Chances are, they know something you don't know. And if you play your cards right, friends, you can get in on what they do know. Some of you may not like some of the results that members of your family have gotten. Learn from their mistakes, and whatever you do, don't follow them in that area that they have struggled in. Only follow the advice of someone in an area if they have the results you want. A professional athlete is most likely a great person to take advice from on how to become a professional player. However, that doesn't mean they know how to be healthy or how to be a good parent. Following their advice in one area just because they had success in another area is a setup for misery and failure. Yet, all of our TV commercials and advertisements are all set up around these things. They take people who are famous or super successful in one area of their life, and then they have them be the poster child for some product that they know nothing about, they have nothing to do with. Okay, be very careful what you allow the world to put into your mind constitutes as value, or what you allow the world to put into your mind that will be of worth to you in your future or can help you. They will put a lot of things in front of you that are just a mirage, that aren't really something that will give you what you want in life. So be very, very careful what you believe. Number 7, it is just as important to receive as it is to give. Okay, you always hear that saying, it is more important to give than to receive. I'm going to tell you that's not true. If we are not willing to receive, or others are not willing to receive, then there would be no point to anyone giving, right? At times we will be a giver, and at times a receiver. And there is nothing wrong with that. It is holy to receive too. As a matter of fact, we won't get success if we don't receive anything, right? We should live a life where we give to others and to God. But we also need to receive what God has for us. If we don't receive God's gifts, then what's the point to life? We should give when it's the time to give, and we should receive when it's the time to receive, and the world will work a lot better. Number 8, most of your fears don't exist, and they will never be realized. You use your imagination to create the bad things that you fear. Then you avoid what it is that you have imagined. How many times have you had a conversation with a teacher over and over again in your head? Or maybe it was the person you want to go on a date with, or maybe it's a friend, or maybe it's your parent, okay? You are sure you know exactly how they will respond and what you want to will respond to what you want to ask. Soon you lose all courage to say anything at all. And the funny thing is, the fears that are real and do exist and do threaten us usually aren't life-altering. Now, there are some exceptions to that, but in general, most of us are not facing life-altering fears that are real every single day. Some things may seem like they may be the end of the world, but they really aren't. Usually when a teen says, "My parents are going to kill me," the parents aren't literally going to kill them, right? The fact is, we all make mistakes, and we all have things that don't go the way we want. But people usually recover. Guess what? That includes your parents. When you do something, your parents are eventually going to recover. Now, I don't recommend going out and making lots of big mistakes just to make them, just to see how your parents will react, or just to teach your parents a lesson. But just keep in mind that you're at a time of growing and experiencing and breaking out and getting a little more freedom and a little more independence. And with that, you're going to make mistakes. And don't be so hard on yourself when you do. It's okay. It's good to experience things. It's better to learn from the mistakes of others, but you're still going to make some of your own anyway. And so don't worry so much don't fret and stress and just go into a complete depression because you're sure that when your parent finds out they're going to kill you. Just know that hundreds and thousands of teenagers have made probably the same mistake you have made, and they all live to tell about it. Their parents made it through it. They made it through it. Life went on. Most of them became functioning, normal adults later on. And so, there's hope for you. Number 9, you don't get what you want or deserve out of life. You get what you focus on. The mind is powerful and will cause you to see things and to get things that you think about most. For example, let's say there is a certain car you really want to get. If you start to think about that, look at pictures of it and talk about it, one day you will start to notice that there are a lot of them on the road. The thing is, people didn't suddenly go out and buy them in the last few days. They have always been on the road. You just didn't notice them before because you weren't focused on them. Your subconscious had no reason to make you pay attention to them. But when you started thinking about it, then your mind knew that was important and went to work bringing them to your attention. It didn't know why it was important, it just knew that suddenly you were thinking about these things, and so it said, oh, this must be important. I need to start making them notice this more often. This will work with anything in your life. It can be a certain career path or types of people. Have you ever been on the internet and looked something up and then suddenly the next day you get on Facebook and there are tons of ads showing up in your feed about that? Your brain works very similarly. Once it realizes you want something, it will start to put that in the forefront of your mind and even cause you to look when that sort of thing is within your line of vision or your hearing. You take in way more information every second than you can possibly use. It would be overwhelming if you were actually focusing on all that and if you actually heard or saw or consciously thought about all that. So your brain has filters it uses to determine which ones to make you pay attention to. If you want different results, give your brain a nudge and change the filters it has so it helps you to recognize opportunities that will give you the results you want in life. Of course, just thinking about them won't be enough. You do have to be willing to act, or else it doesn't matter what you think about. Number 10, money is a tool that should be sought after and used to complete your goals, mission, and dreams. The more of it you have, the more opportunities you will have to use it for good. Good people do good things with money, and bad people do bad things with money. The money is just a tool. Therefore, more really good people should have lots and lots of money. This includes you. Don't let anyone convince you that money is bad or unimportant. Some of the greatest causes, events, and opportunities in life have come because someone had money. If you want to be the person who causes things to happen and puts things into motion, the kind who influences real change, then seek for money. Money is required for most things in life. Most dreams require money to do them. Charities require that someone gives money. Research requires money. Building churches requires money. Technological advancements require money. Many Jews and black slaves were saved because someone had money to set them free. Money isn't just something that is nice to have once in a while. It's not just some necessary evil. It is actually a necessity just to live a healthy life physically and emotionally. So there are many more things that I wish I had known when I was younger, but this list will give you something to think about for now and perhaps to shoot for. Remember, you aren't stuck. There isn't some magical number of people who can have what they want, and the rest of you must be miserable. You can be very successful, happy adult, regardless of whether or not you consider your growing up years to have been good or bad. You are in the driver's seat of your own life, especially after you graduate from high school. Don't let the past hold you back. Go create the future you want. Create a life you would want to live. Thanks for listening, and make it a great day. Remember to subscribe to my channel so you can listen to other great talks. Also, give it a like and share it with others that you think may benefit.